Haunted doll, the family's final nightmare. A young family, Alex, Maria, and their 5-year-old daughter, Lily, decided to move into a new house. Despite all the warnings from the locals, the house looked old and neglected, but they liked its atmosphere and spacious rooms. They did not believe in the local legends and thought that they were just stories to scare newcomers. On the first day of their move, as they were unloading boxes from the car, they were approached by a neighbor, an elderly man named Henry. He had lived here all his life and knew every story about the local houses.
"Are you really going to move here?"
Henry asked, shaking his head. His face was clouded with worry. His eyes were doubtful.
"This house, it's not like the others. People say that something strange happens here."
Alex, a tall and strong man with a friendly face, smiled back, shaking his neighbor's hand.
"We don't believe in ghosts and legends. Mr. Henry, just an old house that needs some repairs."
Henry sighed.
"Well, I hope you're right, but if something happens, remember my words."
Henry's words stuck in Maria's head. That evening, while they were having dinner in the kitchen, she shared her concerns with Alex.
"Do you think we should worry about what Henry said?"
Alex shrugged.
"It's just old superstition. The house is fine. We'll manage."
Inside the house, the family began unpacking and settling in. Maria admired the huge windows and antique furniture pieces that gave the house a special charm. Lily ran around the rooms, happily exploring every corner. Her laughter echoed through the empty hallways, filling the house with life. The first weeks passed without incident. Alex took up repairs, replacing old wiring, fixing creaky floors, and painting the walls. Maria arranged the rooms, trying to give the house a cozy and warm feel. Lily played in her new large garden that surrounded the house and even made some new friends among the local children. However, they soon began to notice strange things. At night they heard whispers, creaking footsteps, as if someone was walking around the house. Alex attributed it to the old age of the house, saying that such sounds were normal for old buildings, but Maria began to feel uneasy. One evening, when they were sitting at dinner, Lily suddenly asked,
"Mom, Dad, who is that girl standing in the hallway?"
Maria and Alex looked at each other, feeling a slight tremor. They looked into the hallway, but there was no one there.
"It's probably just a shadow, dear,"
Maria said, trying not to show her anxiety. She convinced herself that it was just a play of light and shadow and did not pay attention to it. Several days passed. One night, Maria woke up from the sound of whispers. She got up and walked along the hallway, trying to figure out where it was coming from. The whispers grew louder, and she realized they were coming from Lily's room. As Maria approached, she saw that the door was slightly open. She peered inside and saw her daughter sitting on the bed, talking to someone she couldn't see.
"Lily, what are you doing?"
Maria asked, trying to hide her worry.
"We're playing, Mom."
Lily replied, her eyes still on the empty space.
"Susie's telling me stories."
Maria felt a chill run down her spine. She decided that she would tell Alex about it in the morning. The next day, she told her husband about the night's incident. Alex listened to her attentively, but tried to remain calm.
"It's just Lily's imagination. She spends a lot of time alone. Maybe she's making up a friend."
Maria nodded, but deep down she felt that it was not just her imagination. She decided to keep an eye on Lily in her nightly conversations. One evening, Alex and Maria decided to clean out the attic, which had been closed for a long time. They found many old boxes with dusty books, broken toys, and antique jewelry. Lily, having climbed into the attic with them, found an old shabby doll in one of the corners.
"Mom, Dad, look at what a beautiful doll."
Lily exclaimed, holding the doll with tangled hair and a faded dress. The doll's eyes seemed strangely alive. Alex and Maria exchanged glances, but did not see anything dangerous in it.
"If you like it, you can keep it,"
Alex said, smiling at his daughter. From that moment on, Lily never parted with the doll. She called it Susie and played with it constantly, talking to it as if it were her best friend. Alex and Maria were happy that Lily had found something to do, but soon they began to notice strange things. Lily began to get up at night to talk to the doll. Maria often woke up to the sounds of whispers coming from her daughter's room. One night, when she looked into Lily's room, she was sitting on the bed, holding the doll and whispering something to it. Maria noticed that the doll seemed to shake its head slightly in response. Maria began to worry more and more. She shared her fears with Alex, but he again dismissed them as childish games. However, as time passed, her anxiety grew. A few weeks passed. The strange events continued, and one day Maria went into town to do some shopping. In the store, she met an elderly woman who recognized her immediately.
Are you the new family that moved into the old house?
The woman asked, her eyes full of worry.
Yes.
Maria answered.
Is there something wrong with the house?
Many years ago, a family lived in this house. Their daughter went missing, and the only thing they found was her doll. Since then, the house has stood empty, and people say that the girl's spirit is still there.
Maria turned pale.
What do you mean by that?
Be careful. Spirits can be very vengeful.
Returning home, Maria told Alex about her conversation with the woman. They decided that they needed to get rid of the doll. That night, they tried to take the doll from Lily, but the girl became furious.
Susie said you shouldn't touch her.
She screamed, defending the doll as best she could. A few more days passed, and the strangers began to mount. Lily became more and more withdrawn. Her eyes often seemed empty, and her voice was unnaturally deep. Alex and Maria realized that they had to do something before it was too late, but they could not imagine how deeply the curse had taken hold of their daughter and what they would soon experience. Lily's behavior became more and more strange. She began to avoid her parents, preferring to spend time with the doll. Her mood often changed, and sometimes she became aggressive for no apparent reason. One evening, Alex returned from work and noticed that the house was shrouded in cold. He found Lily sitting in the corner of the living room, with her doll on her lap, talking to nothing.
Lily, what are you doing here in the dark? He asked, turning on the light.
Lily looked at him with empty eyes.
Susie said it would be better this way.
Alex felt a chill run down his spine. He told Maria about it, and they decided to keep a closer eye on Lily and her doll. One night, Alex was awakened by a strange noise. He went to check on Lily and saw her standing by her parents' bed with a knife in her hands and an empty look in her eyes. Alex quickly grabbed the knife and took Lily back to her room. Maria, hearing the noise, came running and was shocked by what had happened. The next day, they tried to talk to Lily, but she refused to explain anything. The only thing she said was,
Susie wants you to leave.
Maria began to seriously worry about her daughter's condition. She decided to call the local priest to perform a ritual of purification of the house. The priest, having heard their story, agreed to come the next day. The priest performed a ritual, sprinkling the house with holy water and reciting prayers. Lily, holding the doll, watched this with a cold and empty smile. After the ritual, Alex and Maria hoped that everything would return to normal, but the doll remained near Lily, and her behavior did not improve. One night, Alex and Maria heard a loud noise coming from the attic. Alex went to check and found a fire there. He tried to put it out, but the fire was spreading too quickly. Maria grabbed Lily and tried to take her out of the house, but the girl broke free, screaming,
Susie says we have to stay.
The fire engulfed the entire house. Alex and Maria tried to find a way out, but thick smoke and flames blocked their way. At the last moment, they saw Lily, as if in a trance, walking straight into the fire, holding the doll in her hands. Maria ran after her, but the collapsing ceiling cut her off. The house burned to the ground, leaving only charred walls and ruined rooms. Rescuers found the bodies of Alex and Maria, but Lily was nowhere to be found. The only thing they found was a doll sitting on a chair in the charred remains of the house. Its glass eyes glinted in the moonlight, and an ominous smile was frowning on its face.